So if you've got the DJI Pocket 3 for documenting family life, you are holding gold. This thing is, in my opinion, the best camera that you can have to document family life with because it's simple, it's easy to use, and it creates amazing quality content. I mean, anyone who wants to have good videos of their kids, this will do that for you. But I think there's 5 essential settings that just help make this even better. So I'm going to talk to you about them today. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Zach. I'm a photographer and videographer, but more important than that, I'm a husband and a father. And to me, documenting family life is crucial. I want to make sure that I'm taking videos of my kids, of the things that we're doing, because I want to remember them years from now. But I also, when I'm doing that, I want it to be a simple process. I don't want to feel overwhelmed with different video settings and feeling like I have to use my professional side of things. I just want it to be simple. And that's what I love about the Pocket 3. But there's 5 key settings that I use that just honestly make it even simpler, and I'm ready to go whenever we start using it. The first setting is quick capture. Now there's 2 ways of doing this, but basically what this is a very quick, easy way to go from camera off to camera recording in about 2 seconds. So the first way is to just flip the camera open, and if you have the setting set up, it'll start recording as soon as it's ready to go. You don't have to flip it open and then hit record. It just does that for you. So in a quick moment, when you want to make sure you're capturing something that's happening, you flip it open, it starts recording, and you're able to capture that. Now the other way to do this is press and hold the record button, and it'll immediately turn on, and then you can hit start and start recording. Now it does start up in vertical format, so if you want it to start up in horizontal, I recommend having that flip screen and start recording setting turned on. Now to turn that setting on, all you'll do is you'll scroll down from the top and you'll hit the second from the right top row button, and in there you click screen record and capture. You can also set up what you want it to start filming in. For me, I have it set as last settings, so that whatever I was filming in last time, it just starts right there. Now, an additional setting that's important with that is deleting a clip if you're not actually wanting to record. Sometimes we flip it open and we don't want it to start recording right away. So when that happens, then you just press and hold the record button for a second or two, and it'll delete that clip and stop the recording so that you can then be ready to start recording whenever it is you choose to be. Next setting to talk about is your resolution and frame rate. Now, if you are someone who wants to choose your own resolution, make sure you get the right frame rates, all the pro settings, that's perfect. But if you want something that's simple and easy and going to allow you to have the most storage on your Pocket as possible, what I recommend is setting your camera up in 1080p and 60 frames per second. In all reality, if we're documenting family life, 2K and 4K is nice, but do we really need it? That's up to you to decide. For me personally, I shoot mine in 2K, but if I wanted to even get more space, I would drop it down to 1080. And in doing so, you get more space on your SD card, your files aren't as big, they're not gonna take up as much space on your hard drives, and honestly, the quality is still phenomenal for what I'm documenting. Now, when it comes to frame rates, you can shoot, and I recommend 2 different ones, 24 frames per second or 60 frames per second. 24 frames is if I know I'm not gonna be slowing anything down. 60 frames is if there's a chance I might slow the footage down. So to be safe, it's easiest just to keep it in 60 frames for me. So I recommend keeping your resolution at 1080 or 2K at the most, unless you know you're specifically wanting 4K for some clips, and then to keep your frame rates at 60 frames per second or 24 if you know you're not going to slow it down. This will allow you to get the most out of your image as well out of your SD card. Next is subject tracking. Now, to me, this is a big one, and this was a big development from the Pocket 2 to the Pocket 3 because the active tracking on here just is so phenomenal. You know, let's be real. Kids do not sit still. Sometimes they're running around like crazy. And if you're not used to using a gimbal, it can always be a little bit hard to keep track of them. You know, for me, there's a lot of times where like I've got the camera out, but I'm watching my kids. I'm not necessarily looking at the screen. And when I do look down, I'm like, oh, I'm cutting off their heads, right? So instead, I will tap on my kid or on whatever subject I want to be tracking, and I'll let the gimbal do all the work while I just move and hold it. What's also cool about this is if I want to get in the footage, this allows me to get in there and I can track myself or track my kid, but it allows me to be in the footage and it allows it to still look like someone's holding the camera, someone's doing some movements. And I think that's a really, really cool feature in your footage. So Active Track makes things so much easier for those busy moms and dads out there who are just wanting to document their kids. Now the next one involves the DJI Mic 2. Now if you get the creator combo, you get one of these with it, or you can buy these separately, or you can buy the entire DJI Pocket 2 setup that comes with 2 mics and a receiver. But when you connect this to your camera, there's one setting that you should always choose, and that's the built-in audio backup. Now what that does is when you're using this microphone connected to your Pocket, this is going to take over audio. So you're gonna get all your audio from this device. That's great. You're gonna get some good quality audio if you've got that stuff pinned onto you. The thing is, that means that the microphones in this Pocket aren't going to record any audio. And while yes, this is probably gonna be better audio, there are times when I want myself narrating, but I also want environmental noise that could get captured by this microphone instead of just this one. So in order to make sure I get that, go into your settings, put on the built-in audio backup. And what this does is it'll then save a backup audio file so that you can in post put those together. You've got your main audio from this guy, and then you've got the backup audio that is your environmental audio from this one. It's also great because if you accidentally lose the audio from this one or it gets corrupted, you still get a backup option from the internal mics. And the internal mics, in my opinion, are great. So highly recommend always having that turned on when you're using the DJI Mic 2 system. And the final tip I have for you is low light mode. So let's be real. Sometimes when we're documenting family life, we don't have the perfect lighting. We don't have these studio lights shining onto us. We're not in a sunny environment. Sometimes it's bedtime and we want to capture the bedtime routine, but it's just a little too dark in the room. Well, that's where the low light feature comes in. When you turn this on, the camera does some work to automatically adjust some of the internal settings to make sure you're getting the best possible lighting for your scenario. And it honestly does incredible. It takes a dark scenario and makes it look like it's so much brighter than it actually is. Now, there are a few downsides to this. You do lose things like D-Log M, which to me, I think is a big loss. But if that's something where you're like, it's just too dark and I really want to make sure I capture this well, low light mode is going to do that for you. And that's just something that you kind of have to deal with if you are like, I want that log footage. Well, maybe you rather have the low light or you just don't turn low light on. But I think low light is a great setting for documenting family life because there are so many times where you don't have perfect lighting. So when you're in those moments, turn on low light mode. And when you're done, just go back to the normal mode.
Okay, hey, real quick, bonus tip for you is that when you're using the DJI Mic 2 system and you've got it connected to your Pocket 3, you can actually utilize this to trigger the start and stop. So all you do is hit the little link button here, and that will start your recording or stop your recording. So that's a fun little feature if you're setting this up on a tripod and you don't have it in hand, but you want to start recording or you want to stop recording, or if you're in the photo mode and you want to take a photo. And if you're curious how photos look on this camera, go check out this video over here.
So there you have it, 5 settings to make your Pocket 3 experience so much easier. Which of those settings is most important to you? Is it subject tracking, frame rates, quick record mode, low light settings, or split audio? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear it. And I hope you stick around. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. If you like this video, please do hit that like button and stick around for the next videos because I am so excited to continue to help families better document their family life. And I've got some good videos coming up for you.